Hello, you're welcome to this video series where we'll be discussing a breaker block, right? Breaker block is just one of the um 7 PD array matrix of the ICT. Is one of the reference points, right? The institutional reference point, a breaker block. Now, let's start by defining a breaker block, right? So, a breaker block is simply a failed order block, right? Just take it that way. That's a simplified definition. It is a failed order block, right? So we'll also be discussing how to identify valid breaker block and how you can map them on charts. Now let me give you this example of how a breaker block plays out. Remember I told you that it is a failed order block, right? Now let's say, for example, let me move this way. Let's take, for example, in an uptrend direction, the price started from here, right? It moved this way, then retraces down into this direction. Remember, we're in the uptrend direction. Now, it created this high, right? It broke that structure, retraced back, right? Then broke this structure again. Now, you should note that this is a BOS, right? There's a break of structure here, right? And where is the origin of this swing? This is the swing, right? There's a bullish order block here. So if you should mark out that order block from here, there's another block from here. So if you should mark out that order block, it is just this way. There's an order block here, right? Remember I told you that a breaker block is a failed order block. So this is an order block, right? And it's valid. It has a BOS. The origin of this swing is this order block, right? So it rallied down again and respected this order block, right? It actually did respected the order block, as you can see. Just follow me and you understand what a breaker block is. In an uptrend, now it broke this structure, rally, it traces down. Now in this movement, as far as this candle continue to create higher highs and higher low, it is still this is still a valid order block, right? It retraces down into this position, maybe a fair value gap, or into this. As far as it didn't violate this order block, it's still valid, right? So it reaches down, then rallied up again to break this structure, right? So there's a break of structure there. There's a break of structure from here, right? So let's continue. Now this swing, now there's a new order block here. Of course, there's a new bullish order block here. So I can just mark this area as there's a new order block from here, right? So this trend now continues. Remember, we're in the uptrend direction. It now continues its movement, right? It retraces down, right? As you can see, it still maybe stopped into a fair value gap here or stopped here, then continued rallying up, rallied up again. As far as it didn't violate the other blocks here, is still in an uptrend and we've not yet gotten any breaker block. Now a breaker block is formed when this movement discontinued this particular movement, and when it came here retraces, like broke through this other block, like failed to respect this other block and traces below it. That's when you have a breaker block. So let me remove this to avoid confusion. Right now, from here you should know that there's a new order block here, right? Because this is a swing and this is a BOS. There's a BOS here, right? This is in an uptrend direction. There's a BOS, and there's also a bullish order block here, right? So there's a bullish order block from here. Let me move this way. Now, instead of this trend to continue like the way it used to move, retracing down, let me use this. Now, instead of this trend to continue the way it used to move, like retracing down, then rallying up, it didn't do that this time. Instead of it to retrace down from here, creating a higher low, then rallying up again to create a higher high. It didn't do that. It now did what? This order block here. It now broke through this order block and retraced down this one downward. This order block now faced to be an order block, but it's now turned to a what? A breaker block, because the price broke through it, and when this price was retracing back again into that position, it stopped here, then continue in another direction, then continue in the downward direction, right? So this is a breaker block. This is a breaker block. It is a failed order block. Remember, it was initially an order block until this price disrespected this level where it could have reached, or this order block, to continue upward, but it didn't. Instead, it broke through this order block, and the order block is now serving as a new resistance level, and it broke down, right, creating a new direction. Let me also show you this in a downward movement, right? Let's take, for example, we are in a downtrend and we are moving downward this way. Now the price retraced down into this fair value gap, then did what? Continued downward, creating lower lows and lower highs, right? Creating lower lows and lower highs this way, right? And continued downward. But something happened. This is something happened, guys. This is the origin of this swing, right? This is the origin. So there's a bearish order block from here. Let me mark it out. There's a bearish order block from here, right? There's a bearish order block here, and there's a break of structure here, right, in a downtrend direction. Yes, this swing actually broke this structure. This downward swing, yes, it broke this structure, right? So there's a BOS there, and the origin is here, right? Now when it now rallied down, it still respected this order block, right? As you can see, it respected its order block as far as it didn't traded beyond it. It stopped here, then retraces down, and this is the origin of the swing. This is the origin of this swing. So I'll just take this way. This is the origin of the swing. Now this order block, this bearish order block, ceased to be an order block when this price action, instead of rallying here to continue the downward movement, right, it didn't. Instead, it broke through this order block. It broke through that order block, retraces down, then continue an upward direction. So this candle automatically becomes what? The breaker block, right? This bearish order block that was initially a bearish order block automatically becomes what? A breaker block, because it now serves as a support. It now serves as a support level to a new price movement direction. So this is a breaker block, right? You can actually confirm if the block is a breaker block by noting a sweep in liquidity. That is to say, if there's a break of structure here, now this candle just traded a little bit above this higher high before it retraces down. That's sweeping liquidity above this high before it now retraces down to break this order block, right? So there's a sweep in liquidity here, and that's how you can note a valid breaker block. Same thing is applicable to this section, whereby there's a sweep in liquidity from this area, price breaking off from this low, sweeping off the liquidity from here, right? There's a liquidity sweep from here, breaking above this low, then disrespecting this other block and rallying up, right? So let's quickly identify breaker blocks in charts. If you're watching and you've not subscribed, guys, please do so. Kindly subscribe to the channel. All right, thank you. So let's continue to the chart. So guys, from here, this is the swing, right? This is a downward swing. It's a downward swing actually. This is a bearish order block, right? So let's mark it out. Let's mark it out. from here, as you can see. Now what happened? Price retraces down, rallied up into that order block, right? Did what again? Retraces down, right? Now this is remember that this swing has this origin from here, right? That's the order block. Now it retraces back to decline further, creating a new order block, and this becomes the new order block from here, right? For the whole of this candle, right? That's the order block. Now you see what price did. Instead of price to still retrace into this order block and continue its downward movement, it didn't do that. It didn't actually do that. It retraces here and failed to do what? And failed to continue in the downward movement, because it was creating a lower low here. It could have done that by continuing in downward direction, but it didn't do that. Instead, it broke through this block, rallying up, as you can see. Broke through the block, and this automatically becomes a breaker block, right? Now came here, this candle, this block now starts to serve as a support level for the price movement. It held price from here, rallied up, and it never did come back again till it started ranging bullish, as you can see. So this is a breaker block. It is a failed order block. It didn't actually respected this order block by continuing its downward movement. Instead, it broke through the order block and held price there, then continue its movement upward. Let's continue in the chart to see more examples of breaker blocks. So as I'm scrolling, if you're able to identify any, you can please indicate in the comment section. I don't want to miss any actually. Okay, this is a downtrend. Okay, I think I just saw another one from here, right? I think I just saw another one. Let me mark out the other block. Guys, do you know that okay, this is an order block, the last up candle from here, right? The whole of that up candle is the order block. So I'll just mark it out. Just mark the whole of that up candle to this extent, right? Okay, now that's good. From here you can see that price rallied down. Where is the origin of this swing? This is the origin of the swing, right? That order block, this bearish order block, is the origin of the swing. It rallied down, then retraces back, although it didn't get to the order block, right? Now it pushed down. It respected this block, right? Actually did respected the block. Let me show you. It respected this block, pushed down, continue its movement in the downward direction, right, creating a lower low. Now this swing has a new order block, right? It has a new order block, and I'm going to mark it out. Where is the origin of the swing? This is the origin. This order block here, that's the origin of the swing. So I'll mark it out. I'm going to mark it out, right? That's the origin of the swing. Let me just cross this way. Now, without being told, you just identify, you can just tell that this is a breaker block, right? This is a breaker block without being told, because this candle rallied down, retraces into this level. I think probably a fair value gap. There's a little fair value gap here, rallied down a bit, but instead of it to continue its downward movement, like creating another lower low here in a downward direction, it didn't. It just didn't respected this order block. So it's a failed order block. Why? This is because price traded through it, broke through it, and immediately this order block automatically becomes a breaker block. And you can see what price now did from here, right? It now serve as a support. It came here and continued its upward movement. Guys, this is a breaker block. That's how to identify breaker blocks, right? I feel by now you should be able to have a better understanding of breaker blocks, but let's keep on searching for more examples so that you can have a better understanding of breaker blocks, because I like giving facts and going straight to the point to give you the real facts of what you actually needed. So let's go. So maybe this time we should look for a breaker block in the uptrend direction. the breaker block in the uptrend direction. Let's see if we can see any, and we'll conclude this video with that. Let's check. So I'm looking for swing highs because we've been treating lows, right? Now from here, I think I just locate on the bullish movement. Let's say this is a bullish order block. I'm marking it out. This is a bullish order block, and this bullish order block is the origin of this swing, right? Rallied up, breaking this structure, creating a higher high, right? It retraces back, still respected this block down here because it didn't trade through it, respected it and continue its upward movement. Is a BOX here, is a break of structure, right? Then there's a new swing from here, right? From here, so there's a new bullish order block. There's a new bullish order block from here, right? Let me remove this again so that you can see what I just marked. The whole of this down candle, we want to use it as a bullish order block, so I'll just mark it out. Although there's no fair value gap there, but I just want to use it to explain a breaker block, right? So I just mark the whole of that down candle. Now it's created a new high, right? It traces down, rallied up again with a new swing, right? A swing high, creating a higher high. We are in an uptrend, right? So it's rallied up here, traces down, but instead of this block to respect this level, it didn't. Could have just stopped to this way or into any fair value gap here or into this block, then continue upward movement, but it didn't. Instead, it broke through this, it broke through the order block, and this order block automatically becomes a breaker block, right? So it is a failed order block. So it retraces down into it, and of course, as you can see, the movement continued downward. The movement continued downward from here. So it's turned to a downward movement, as you can see from here, right? So and that's how you can identify breaker blocks in your chart. First off, it has to do with the break of structure, upward or downward. Maybe in an uptrend, there is a series of break of structure, upward, right? Or there is a series of break of structure downward in a downtrend, and suddenly it didn't really respected the other block again. It just broke through the other block and continue a new direction. And the other block where such occurrence happened automatically becomes the breaker block. I hope with this video you now understand perfectly how you can identify breaker blocks in charts. Thank you guys for watching up to this extent. Please do smash the subscription button. Please do that. Do that. It doesn't cost you a dime. Turn on notification, right? And if this video was helpful, do not hesitate to drop a message in the comment section, right? Thank you for watching. Bye, and see you in the next one.